My name is Asia Richardson. I'm 23 years old.
I was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, August 26, 1989, to Arthur and Lois Richardson. I grew up right in the city of Harrisburg, been on the same block. My siblings grew up in the same house with me for 20 plus years. We never, ever moved. We stayed there forever.
Me and my sister are complete opposites. We are. So I was always looked at as the wild child. My sister's very laid back, and I was the one that was always out there and, talking to people, social butterfly. That was me. My childhood was very TV-like in the sense, and I say that because that's what my friends always said. It was like we were on a sitcom. But my parents have been married for probably 32 years. I grew up with my mom as a stay-at-home mom. My dad was a state employee. He worked 9 to 5, and then he came home. We had dinner every day at 5:30, which was mandatory. You couldn't miss it at all. I grew up seeing my parents work together as a team. They supported me and my sister's endeavors completely, whether it was, I want to do this when I grow up, or whether it was PTA night, they were there. So my childhood, it was rich with love, and I saw my parents educated me spiritually, they educated me financially, and I feel that's where I am the person I am today. As a child, hair was almost like an innate skill. I just always loved hair. Even as a kid, I never played with Barbies only to do their hair. That was it. I never did anything else. I didn't do teddy bears. I just wanted to do hair all the time.
It was easy to do. It just came naturally. So then I knew somehow, some way I would always do hair, but I knew if I went into other things, I would incorporate it in there somehow, some way.
I think if I worked a 9 to 5 job at the state in a cubicle, I would go crazy because I'm confined to a place. I have a script to read. I'm doing the same thing every day. It's monotonous.
There's so many elements that create one hairstyle that it is a piece of art. So yeah, I consider myself to be an artist because not everybody can do this every day.
I don't feel beautiful when my hair's not done. I don't feel that I'm at my peak of looking wonderful, divalicious, with my hair not being done. And I think that's why I rotate hairstyles a lot. That's why I wear wigs, because what may make me feel sexy with a shortcut, sometimes I want to feel big and sassy with my big curly hair and everything else, so I'll switch it up. And sometimes I want to feel sleek and, sexy with my long black hair. And then other times I just want to be cute and flirty and put a couple blonde highlights in. To me, that's what hair is. Hair is an identity.
You have 1,001 people who are very creative, like Miss Asia said, and have went through the trials and tribulations of going through school, getting their license, and becoming a professional. But then you have 1,001 people who have gone to other people's salons, sat there with their friends, and they have creativity. And in that creativity, they have watched us do what we do. And we unwittingly let them learn all of our trades by just viewing us. Boom, they go home, and for every $50 to $60 do we do here, they go home and do it for $15 to $20. And believe it or not, people, like Miss Asia said, will go for a deal, but they're getting what they pay for. They don't get proper hair care or maintenance, but the price is conducive for them. So they rather pay $20 for a hairdo in the kitchen and go out and get 15 drinks at the local bar rather than get their hair properly treated, conditioned and styled where you won't have any breakage later. And I don't know, people don't have the same respect for us as they used to.
High school for me was a challenge. 9th, 10th grade, those were like just years of me coming into my own and finding out what Asia was all about. 11th and 12th grade, those were really rocky. I met my son's father. We ended up getting pregnant And that was the beginning of my senior year. Towards the end, my mind frame just shifted, or my focus shifted, because everybody was getting ready to go off to college, and I was planning baby showers, or I was planning how to put a crib together and things like that. I was going to be a mom.
My pregnancy definitely affected my household because we all grew up Jehovah's Witnesses, and my parents taught us that religion from birth on up, and part of that is to be abstinent until marriage. So me going against that and having sex before marriage, that was the first no-no. Then I conceived a child out of wedlock, so that's the second no-no. So that definitely brought in some hardships and some tug-of-war battles, because that was going totally against our faith. But at the same breath, because of our faith, my parents were able to forgive. Because of my faith, they didn't hold it against me, and they looked at my son as not a mistake but as a blessing. Even though I didn't follow my faith at that time, that because it was still ingrained in me, I didn't make stupid decisions revolving around my son, like, oh, this is so against my religion, I gotta get rid of him. I can't tell my parents. No, I knew it wasn't going to be something acceptable right off the bat, but I knew from my own Bible teaching that no, I can't just abort this child or act like I'm not pregnant, like hide this forever. That wasn't going to be the case. I was going to say, Mom, this is what happened.
My rock bottom was when I lost my sight and my hearing. Lyme disease is you basically get bit by a tick, and it starts out with a bull's eye mark on your body wherever you're bit at, and then the symptoms come on. But usually people who are bit, they see the bull's eye and they're able to immediately get it treated, within a few days of being bit. I, however, didn't see a bullseye mark on me at all. To this day, I don't know where I got bit at. I just know I got bit by a tick. I don't know exactly on my body where it was at. And because of that, my symptoms just kept on progressing. I thought I was coming down with a cold. Then just a cold that just spiraled out of control. And I basically got the final stages of Lyme disease symptoms, like where I lost my hearing, I lost my sight. My arthritis really, really kicked up because they have Lyme disease arthritis.
When I was laying in the hospital, I didn't really know how sick I was. I didn't. I knew I had been sick for a while and nobody knew what was wrong with me. So I was just like, I hope they figure it out. That was my first thing. That was maybe week 1 in the hospital, week 1.5. I hope they figure it out. I'm ready to go home. By week number 2, I started to get worried because I knew I had a good job on hold waiting for me, but I didn't know how long they were going to hold it. I didn't know how long I was going to be sick. I didn't know how long I was going to be in the hospital. So that became my concern because I had a lot of financial responsibility. It wasn't just taking care of my son in my household, but I had 2 car notes to take care of, and I was wondering who's going to pay for daycare? Who's going to pay my car insurance? Who's going to pay my phone bill? So while I had some things in savings, I still was starting to sweat. But after I stopped dwelling on the financial aspect of things, then I start dwelling on the emotional side of it. Comes out where, okay, now I'm really not able to take care of my son. And at that point, I was all he had. So I was almost feeling as if I was failing him because I couldn't get up and run around with him. I couldn't read him a story, even though before I couldn't do that, but that was by choice. I had to work and things like that. But now, even on my free days, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even get up to take my own self to the bathroom or do a shower. So how was I going to care for a little boy? And now everything was really falling on my parents. And I just felt that I was failing as a mother, as a woman, as somebody trying to be an entrepreneur. I felt at that point everything was slipping away.
Things started to get better for me once they told me what I had.
Herrick Square is finally open. Today is my grand opening day, and I can't believe all of this has happened in the matter of 30 days. I stumbled upon this place when I was in Strawberry Square with my son for lunch, and I saw that they had openings available. So I just took the number down and called them. October 28th, I signed my lease. October 31st, we started tearing up the floor. My salon is full service because it takes more than just your hair for you to feel good or for you to look good. The complete package means that your nails need to be done. Sometimes you might need that body massage at the end of a long work week with crazy kids and crazy teachers and everything else, and you just want to put your feet up. Sometimes that happens. Or sometimes you just want to come down here for a glass of wine and say, I'm not here for anything but conversation and to relax. And that's cool too. And that is what I wanted. That's the concept I wanted my salon to encompass. Our neighbors are wonderful. The people are really receptive down here to us. So we're excited. We're really excited.